everyone, Blitz here. Today I'm making a video about the MCU. I'm a fan of the MCU like anyone else. I'm not going to hate on it. I'm going to go over some of the wasted potentials within the MCU throughout the peak years of the MCU. These videos of mine could be a little controversial and get me some hate for what I think that is wasted potential in the MCU. This is going to be a first part. It depends on how long these topics are. I'm going to go over 3 of them in this part, and I'll have timestamps if you don't want to hear my rant on how I fell in love with superhero content. I'll have them on screen here. So back to the intro. If you don't know what the peak era / age of the MCU, it's basically any movie Marvel released from 2012 to 2019. This is also the superhero genre. The first Avengers changed the genre in cinema. It was a high bar and changed everything. It made superheroes popular, and everyone wanted to start watching them. Don't get me wrong, superhero movies were popular before 2012. There was Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, the X-Men, but everyone wanted to see many other unknown heroes that were good enough to be on the big screen. And it had some problems after the first Avengers. Every franchise, company, actors, fictional characters, everyone wanted their own cinematic universe throughout 2012 and 2019, but failed. I started watching the MCU in 2017. I loved the characters and the stories they told and the problems they went through, the team-ups, and many more. This is where I got into the genre in general. I'm probably going to get comments saying that superhero movies are a setting, not a genre, but I'm sorry, but in my eyes, it's a genre. It's just how it is. As much as I love Marvel and DC and superheroes, the MCU had a ton of wasted potentials with some characters and teams that some people would love to see, some people would have loved to see, would love to have seen. And don't get me wrong, Marvel knew what they were doing. Most of these problems mostly have to do with right issues, and I could make a video about the DCEU wasted potentials, but there's no need to. I'm sorry, but there's no need to do that. We all saw what happened there, and that's the whole universe is wasted potential. Sorry for the long intro. Let's get into the first wasted potential. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for the long intro. Let's get into the first wasted potential character, and that is the Hulk. The Hulk is the biggest wasted potential in this universe because he barely gets any development, and any type of development he gets are in the Avengers movies, and he doesn't get a focus on a lot in those movies. The only thing we see from him is fighting in a real relationship with Black Widow. And we haven't gotten a single solo Hulk movie since 2008. And that movie technically got a sequel, and I'm using quotation marks here because the new Captain America movie is a sequel without the actual Hulk. And the main problem with this is because Universal still owns the rights to the Hulk. This statement might age horribly if Marvel gets the rights back. This is why we haven't gotten another movie, and another reason it bugs me personally, and it's the actors, and it's the actors in the 2008 movie. The actor who played the Hulk was Edward Norton. He was fired and replaced with Mark Ruffalo in 2012 to now. I really hate the switch up on here because I really hate the switch up on here. A lot of people like Mark in the end, in the first half, and now hate him and want Edward back. May I remind you, Edward was fired and he's not going to be the main Hulk anymore. I'm not saying he's coming back anymore. There are rumors that he's going to appear in the next Avengers movies. He was fired for his behavior on set and didn't come back for the role. So stop blaming Mark for this. He was told to do this, and none of this is his fault. And the character was going to progress this way, even if the writers did it in a dumb way. The next one is somewhat wasted potential, and that is Spider-Man. And what I mean by this, Spider-Man got rebooted so many times it gets tiring of seeing the same thing over and over again. I wonder if Marvel had the rights to all the characters, Spider-Man would have been written differently in the MCU. I don't expect it to be different. Expect it to be like the comics, but different. Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man and is so suffering on what they do with him. I get it that they don't want to retell the same stories over again and again, and reuse the same villains. Spider-Man is Marvel's most popular character. He's one of the big 3 of superheroes in Marvel, but not the MCU. Spider-Man could have been heroes that started this universe and expanded this universe. It could have been Toby or a different actor that didn't rely on Iron Man, even if they decided to use Iron Man at all. If you're not a big comic book reader, Iron Man used to be like a B or C list hero now. He's a S tier character in the movies, made him popular. They would use him later on phase 3 or 4. Back to what I was saying, Spider-Man is dealing with his own problems and suffering from his own consequences without outside help. As much as I love Tom's Holland version, I do wish they would add Uncle Ben or mention him. They could add Norman, MJ, Harry, Grant, or any other Spider-Man characters. But Sony wants to make movies on some of these characters to keep the rights. It's annoying. It's annoying. At least the Venom movies are entertaining, but not good, but entertaining. This one is a bit of a nitpick, and all I'm saying is that if Sony isn't stingy on the Spider-Man IP, I wonder how much Marvel can do with him. Craven was going to be the villain of the first Black Panther movie, but they didn't want to pay the rights with Sony to use him. My sources for that is from Doomblazer. The next one is the Black Panther, and this one is quite obvious. If you don't know, in late 2020, the late actor Chadwick Boseman has passed away, and Marvel didn't want to recast the character, and went and made the second movie, and giving the role to the sister, and later to give it to his son in the movie universe. Some people said they did the right thing and not recasting, and some saying that that's total BS. Chadwick played the role really good, and believe me, we all wished he would have made a full recovery and to continue the role and many more acting roles. But the unfortunate happens, and life sucks sometimes. His closest friends and family said that he would wanted this role to be continued and go on. A lot of people have their reasons to think that Marvel used his death as a marketing scheme to promote the second movie back then for the trailers. I'm not saying that Marvel did, but people have their reasons they thinking that. I'm not a comic book reader, but there are certain stories people would have loved to see on the big screen, like T'Challa Mirroring Storm X-Men character, and T'Challa becoming King of the Dead, but that's probably not going to happen. Some people don't want to see the character recast, and if they do see him recast, they're going to cry about it, saying it's disrespectful, and they will boycott Marvel. Like, yeah, sure you would. Sure you will. Comic characters get recast a lot. We grow to like them over time, like the Supermans, Batmans, and Spider-Mans. His first movie wasn't the best his movie, but it wasn't the worst. It was a really good movie, and I liked it. And I like it. Pretty formulaic, but good. His character was an inspiration to many, and to me, I feel like they should recast the character to keep his character's legacy going. We are not going to forget Chadwick's performance, and that's all. This statement might be obsolete because a month ago, a bunch of Avengers Doomsday concept art was leaked. I'm not going to go over all of them, but one of them showed the Black Panther T'Challa recast, and T'Challa did play a big part in the sequels in the comics, so they have to do something about it. That's all I have for part 1, and I already know what I'm going to do for part 2. Let me know in the comments what you thought about these, or say you have no idea what you're talking about, you dumb. I'm just joking. I'll see you all later when I get to part 2.